Lisa. Good morning, Sarah. Saw your husband at the car wash this morning. We all ready to go over here? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. It is November 4th here in Globe. Board of Supervisors meeting 10 a.m. We'll get started with a Pledge of Allegiance. I've asked Cassandra to lead us in that, and after that, Nick Montague will lead us in our prayer. Please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day, and we thank Thee that the Board of Supervisors be able to meet. We ask Thee to have the Spirit be with them, they're able to listen and discern the facts, and to know what is best to do throughout the county. And say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Well, good morning once again. We have the full Board of Supervisors here with us this morning, and we have quite a number of things to cover today. So we'll get started right off. And our first item, 2A, is a presentation. And we have a couple ladies with us from Washington, D.C. here today. Presentation regarding an update on legislative activity in Washington, D.C. from Gila County's federal lobbyist, Patricia Powers of BOS Public Affairs Group. Good morning, Patricia. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Before I start, I want to introduce one of my colleagues that is here with me today, that Supervisor Christensen, I know you met in DC, and Robin's been helping a couple of times on James's trips lately, but Robin Heastan is her first trip to Gila County, so we got a lot of wows on the way from the airport. I'm going to keep this pretty short, and if you all have any specific questions on issues, but so Washington is very different from when I was here to talk about you last. So things have been changed in a very, very distinct and deep way. So we're shifting how we're thinking about things and how things are getting done in a very rapid and changing way. So it's and some of that is purposeful. They're calling it the flood the zone on how we're going to be doing things. So it's sort of slowed down a little bit, but you guys remember when Elon Musk was with us, and Doge doesn't really exist anymore. I think only in name, but they were firing lots and lots of federal people, and then they rehired a lot of federal people. Closed offices down, opened them back up. So it was, initially a little tough to try to figure out what to do. I've never seen anything like this before, and typically determined that it was best to kind of keep our heads down and see where things were going, and don't overly react. And where things sometimes seemed really scary, it turned out it was a lot of press releases, and it was going to be okay. So I think the biggest impact that we've seen so far for the county has been that a $1 million grant for environmental justice projects was rescinded, and after that, this summer, when the reconciliation bill, the One Big Beautiful Bill, was enacted, the program that grant was given from was canceled. So that, I think, has to date been the biggest impact for the county. And otherwise, we're just sort of watching what other things are happening. There's some good things are happening. There've been discussions for years about doing a better job on permitting, being more efficient, so we don't spend so much time permitting projects, especially smaller projects. It's a bipartisan supported position. We will probably see something about it in an upcoming transportation bill, but they're doing that in a sort of unofficial way now. So that's probably a plus. And on the rest of it, and I know we've talked a little bit, I don't know, and hopefully when we're talking with you all individually, if you've seen any impacts from not being able to contact people in federal agencies that you usually work with. Not during the shutdown, but just generally if people have been fired or riffed. So, someone that you work with for a long time is now gone. Is there, there's nobody else to replace them. If you're having trouble like that, just to let us know. And the other piece of that is just to make sure we stay in close touch with your elected representatives in DC and let them know, especially if you have some current concerns about things are coming. Don't wait until it becomes a big problem, but just like, hey, we've been reaching out to Joe at FEMA and we haven't heard back in 3 months. Like, can we get some help there? And that would be a good thing to do. So right now we're in a extended government shutdown. I think soon to approach the longest one. We are hearing this week that there's some optimism in the Senate being voiced by both sides, and to possibly come to some sort of an agreement on a bill by as soon as Friday. The current bill that the Senate keeps voting on is just a short-term bill. It's not a long continuing resolution. It just takes it through, I think it's the 21st of November. They're now talking about taking it either through the end of the year or maybe to sometime in January, and to continue to negotiate the project, the bills. There are 12 appropriation bills. They have 2 groups of 3 that once they get past the short-term continuing resolution problem they're having, they might get those done very soon, maybe before the end of the year. And that would be total of 6 bills out of 12. So then either sometime in January, the beginning or the middle of January, they would be working on a much smaller set. So that would be a good thing. Next steps on that, there's really not much a way for the county to engage on that. I mean, you could communicate with them that you want to see them end the shutdown, but everybody wants to see the shutdown end, so you wouldn't be really adding a lot to that discussion. But I think just looking ahead for next year, there isn't a lot of interest, political interest in seeing another year-long continuing resolution. So we should see bills come out. And hopefully we'll see that happen sooner than later for the end of the year, and we'll be looking at the next fiscal year. So fiscal year 27. And the thing for you guys to be thinking about is what kind of earmark request you would be interested in for that. The use of earmarks has become much more popular. There's, I should have looked up the numbers, but the last I checked, it was probably somewhere around 3/4 of the Congress, members of Congress on the House and the Senate side are requesting and getting earmarks. Initially, when they first brought them back, it was the Republicans were kind of holding back and the Democrats went full bore. The Republicans now, for the last couple of years, have passed the Democrats on the numbers of members requesting them, the amount they're requesting, and the amount that they're awarded. So it's no longer a Democrat, Republican, partisan issue at all. So I don't really see them going away. Even saw some things that some folks are thinking about allowing earmarks to go forward on a continuing resolution, which has never happened before. So I think we're definitely looking at that as a staple tool in the future. So you want to be thinking about what kinds of projects fit that. On the legislative front, broadly, the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill expires next September, at the end of fiscal year 26. Both the House and the Senate committees of jurisdiction have been working on that. This is the last one that passed was the IIJA. Sort of changed a lot of things. One of the things they did was allowed for a lot more grants to be, a lot of the funding that's distributed to the states to go in competitive grants directly to local government entities beyond the state. So typically a lot, especially the highway money, goes in by formula to the states, so that's what you get from ADOT, which, you know, I think the record on how ADOT distributes the funds, you guys don't always end up getting too much of it. So these competitive grants give you a little bit more of an edge. I think they'll probably end up repealing some of the IIJA competitive grants. The Republicans didn't really seem to think that was as efficient a way to do it. And of course, the governors don't like that at all. So they've been lobbying right from the beginning to get that to shift back. So there'll be a little bit of a shift there. So we'll probably see less competitive grants. So a little bit less of opportunities for you to compete for funds directly. But I don't think they're going to go away. So NICO is working on it. We can help you put some comments together directly to your members of Congress and senators to support the things in the bill. But I don't think they're going to open the formulas back up. Given how Congress is moving a little slowly right now, they probably will end up extending it a couple of times before they finish it next year. But that is being very actively worked on. And they always said, you know, potholes aren't partisan. You know, it's not a Republican pothole or a Democratic pothole. It's just a pothole that needs to be fixed. So both the committees on the House and the Senate side pretty much work really closely together and see transportation needs of the country as something that shouldn't be partisan at all, and they work to get it done. So that would be good. And then the other thing is supporting the Pleasant Valley Veterans Retreat bill, which is this close. So, you know, we're there to help wherever that's needed. One of the things to think about, especially related to surface transportation reauthorization, the county has a lot of really big infrastructure projects that need to be addressed, big dollar projects that federal money will be of great help. So we've got the 512 Young Road, Russell Road, Control Road, and the other thing I added to that list, and there may be something on it, they just did an economic development bill that they tacked onto a Corps of Engineers bill last year, but if there's any opportunity to support some of the economic development that's happening as a result of the Tunnel Creek Bridge. And there is a bucket of money that helps support economic development related to on the part of the federal transit agency. But you know, if you're putting in a transit project, they expect that there's going to be economic development around that site. You know, a new bus stop or a train stop usually encourages a lot of economic development. So we could sort of look around and see, well, what happens when you have economic development that is created by a surface transportation project at a federal highway. So see where there might be, if there's any need for something like that. And then final thing, the devastating flooding that's gone on. I know it's still early days, but you know, FEMA has resources, and there are other federal resources there. We're happy to help with that as well. So.
Thank you, Patty. Appreciate you being here. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, no, thank you. And you touched on a lot of things, and we have a meeting after this meeting, so I'll get into more in depth then. But no, thank you very much for your presentation this morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Supervisor Klein.
Patty, thanks for coming out, and Robin, very nice to meet you. Yeah, welcome aboard. So, but yeah, thanks for what you're doing, and I know you're gonna have a good tour this afternoon, so be good.
Yeah,
Well,
great. It's always great to be back.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And no, you made a comment in there somewhere where the state makes sure you don't get too much or something like that. And that's for sure. We'd never get too much. And when it comes to HERF funding and stuff like that, that needs to be readjusted somehow, because it's not going up. It's just staying the same. We're receiving the same little dollar amounts that we were a couple decades ago. and after inflation and the cost of everything, it's just, in other words, we're just shrinking. So
And,
that's a-
that would be a really good topic to talk with Representative Crane and Senators Kelly and Gallego about that.
right.
You know, I mean, the county works really well with ADOT, but, you know, the state decides what happens to the money once the feds give the state the money. And the governors, I can tell you, are out there lobbying very strongly that you actually need to put less restrictions on us and just leave us alone and make decisions to do that. But they don't want you to be able to do that. So I think, and they went pretty far in the last bill in creating these competitive programs. And I think there's been some really good results on that, from that you can use, you know, proponents of giving local government more control can use. But I think, you know, this would be the time for you all to be communicating with your members to say, hey, we are capable of doing these projects. And when we need some help, like on the bridge, you all got the money. You brought ADOT in to help. I mean, it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing kind of thing, but, you know, it works when we can handle it. And if it's a project too big for us to handle, we'll make sure we work with ADOT and the work gets done. But I don't think the feds are ever going to want to get in and tell the states how to do things. Because like one thing they could do is say, well, there's a set aside. You know, that's so hard to do because, you know, Arizona's only got 15 counties. Iowa's got 99. So how do you say it? Like every county gets 10%? You know, you'd have to figure out how to do that. But I think just to deliver the message to say, hey, you know, we can handle these funds. We can build these projects. We know where our priorities are. So don't cut us out completely.
Right, and so there's not a county in Arizona that's willing to give up any of their HERF funds to give it to Gila County.
Right.
So there has to be an increase somehow, and I don't think those formulas have been adjusted for a very long time. And we maintain hundreds of miles of road that Forest Service road or something like that, and we do it, we receive money for it, but we're still running a department that we were running 2 decades ago for the same amount of money, so it's
Yeah,
pretty tough.
they consolidated some of the federal road funding, and then they cut it. So that would be
Yeah.
another place to try to get more money into for your.
So anyway, yeah,
Forest Service.
we kind of know how politics runs, but the rural counties like us are working off of 2/3 of what we spend is grants and things like that, so we got to have that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're right, you identified several roads that are high priority roads, safety issues, wildfire issues, all those evacuation issues, and they're not even our roads, they're the Forest Service roads. So anyway, thank you, and thank you, Robin, good to see you again. Did you want to say anything this morning?
Yes, just really grateful to be here. It was a beautiful drive-in, and look forward to working with you.
Now, I think I have both of you in Payson tomorrow, right? Okay, good. And we'll show you around up there too. But thank you. So is there anything else for these ladies? Okay, thank you for that presentation. And so let's move on. Items 3, regular agenda items. Item A is information, discussion, action to approve an economic development agreement number. It's 2026-000-00101 between Gila County and the Quilts of Valor Foundation, Heart to Heart Group 928 Incorporated, in the amount of $6,000, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public. Ladies, come on up. So this is $6,000 economic development grant, $2,000 from each of the supervisors. Thank you, supervisors, for all getting together. Today we have with us Marilyn Harness and Carla, and they are from the Quilts of Valor, and they're going to show us what they do and why it's important, and it's really beautiful. And each one is different, each one's unique, each one has a placard on it with showing who it goes to, what it's for, and if you can, just briefly tell us the point of all of this. What is it? And you guys volunteer all your time and everything, and please come on up and just tell us what, why is
mission-
this a benefit to anyone at all? What is it that you're trying to do?
Okay, what the Quizzer Foundation, Valor Foundation is, we try to quilt every veteran that's been touched by war in some way. Some have never left the United States, but they dealt with the wounded, some way, shape, or form. And that's what we do, you know, we make quilts, we take our time, but we run on donations is what we do. The donations is what come in and help us buy the material, the thread, the batting, the backing, you know, that's what the quilts are made out of. Very good quality, you know, material. We don't buy it just from anywhere. So you figure a quilt ranges from, the foundation had an appraiser come in and he appraised the quilts at $800 to $1,600. But you figure it's, you know, it's $12, $15 a yard for just the front, you know. Because
Right.
the quilt shop, you know, everybody's going up in price because, you know, the cost of living.
And the recipients usually have a ceremony.
Yes,
And the
we do a
recipients are very proud
presentation.
to receive this. They're very
Yes,
humbled
we
by
do.
the
We
fact
do-
that they're
we
honored
do-
that way.
Yeah, we do groups,
Mm-hmm.
and then if the person is very private, we go to them. We do it how they want it. But we wrap them in a quilt. They are, I opened it up with a presentation, and then I have a veteran who reads a certificate, to the recipient, and then he is saluted, and then, most generally, the ladies, they are wrapped in the quilt, and if they allow it, we hug them and thank them for their service. And that's how each veteran is done. And our goal is to try to get every veteran that we can. And that's our goal. And the funding is, like you say, we live on donation.
It's a super powerful thing. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great thing that you do. I guess the question I have is do you have some younger people that are wanting to learn to quilt with you?
Most of our ladies, now we do have a leader down in Buckeye, and she works with the 4-H.
Oh, that'd be great.
They
Yeah,
have put
that's,
out quilts.
yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, because it's a great program, and, you know, you get younger individuals like with 4-H or things of that nature that want to learn to quilt, because
Yeah.
a lot,
Well, I
lot
have
of
it-
the old
yeah.
techniques are
Yeah.
going by the wayside, and it would, you know, it'd be a shame that,
Yeah.
that this doesn't continue to
That's what
carry
I'm
on.
saying. We've been trying to, you know, get to the
To
schools
recruit,
so
yeah,
that we can see
no.
if there's any 4-H people.
Yeah.
You know, because it
Yeah.
really didn't, you know, like, yeah, I've only been the leader, you know, for a few months,
Yeah.
learning a lot of
Sure.
stuff, you know, too. And then we had a meeting with a lot of other group leaders, and this is how I found out, you know, go to your
Right.
school, go to your, because a lot of schools now, they don't even have sewing classes
Right,
anymore.
yeah,
You
because they
know.
used to have like home
And-
economics where they learned to bake and sew and those kind of things.
But,
It-
yeah.
Not only for females, but
So
males
that,
as
yeah,
well.
that's what
And
I'm
so
really
it-
trying to reach out to do,
Yeah,
get to
that'd be
the
great.
We
schools.
do have 6 male members.
Yeah, no, I knew that from one of the previous presentations,
Yeah,
and
3 of
vets
them-
too,
yeah, 3
so,
of them do their certificates. One, he helps run the coffee. There's a veterans coffee in Payson,
oh, yes,
and he's good to help us get, you know,
yeah,
nominations, and he has, you know, auctioned off a few quilts.
right,
They don't have the label by no means, and usually they're not really, you know, actually quilt the Valor.
right,
They're quilts that's been made, but they auction them off to raise money for us,
sure.
you know, a little bit of money.
Well, thank you all very much for
We
what you
appreciate
do.
it. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Supervisor Humphrey, don't go yet.
Supervisor Klein?
Supervisor,
It's okay, early.
Supervisor Klein, this guy right here.
Ladies, thank you. How many quilts have you done so
Oh,
far, do
I'm
you know?
sorry. Well, okay, let me say, as of September 30th, the foundation, which is all 1,100 11,000. Oh, there's over 11,000 members. They have put out 424,428 quilts as of September 30th. I haven't got the October. We as a group have put out 71 this year. Yeah.
Just
And
since
our goal
January.
is to try to get 100 before the end of the year.
Good job.
Our goal is.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it all right if we get a picture with you, ladies? We'd like to do that, so just stay right there, and we're gonna come down to you.
Can you open the quilt and hold it in front of you so we can see it?
Y'all don't mind that.
Right direction?
No, yeah, that's upside down. Usually I try to put the label at the bottom.
Okay, we need everybody in there. And if the quilts are up too high, we're not gonna be able to see the supervisor. Here first.
Okay, right here.
Thank you.
So if anyone would like to be a part of that group, I'm sure they have something for you to do and help with. Let's go ahead. I think we need to vote on that yet, don't we? So, I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Economic Development Agreement number 202600000101 with Quilts of Valor Foundation, Heart to Heart Group 928 Incorporated as presented, and which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Appreciate what you all do. Item 3B, we have information, discussion, action to approve the OpenGov Master Services Agreement with OpenGov Incorporated for its procurement and contract management software platform. It's in a not-to-exceed contract amount of $244,377.12 for the term of November 4th, 2025 through June 30th, 2029. Good morning, Maren.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Supervisor Humphrey, Supervisor Klein. I'll just jump in and address the elephant in the room. A year ago, I brought to you the Contract Safe software platform, and while we used it to the best of its ability, it did not meet our needs. So when we realized it wasn't meeting our needs, Olivia went out and started seeking a new solution to streamline our processes while increasing and improving our efficiency. So OpenGov is the solution that will do that at the best cost to the county. And we have Grace and Brandon here from OpenGov if you have any questions. And we've got Olivia here also. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, so the one that you brought to us earlier, it didn't work as well as you wished it did?
So it turned out to only be like an online library, and it wasn't searchable by the people that we expected it to be searchable by. We thought that it would create what you all have been asking for, like the reports and things, and it won't, and this one will.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big IT person, so I mean, if I was, I'd probably have more questions. But this is going to help with like the procurement. I mean, that's one of the big bottlenecks that we have.
Yes.
Yes, this.
And how will it help in your procurement?
So in terms of, for the formal solicitations, for instance, one of the things that I'm really excited about is that
This OpenGov platform will allow vendors to register online to receive Gila County solicitations. They can go up and sign up for whatever areas that they do business in that they would be interested in getting solicitations for. And as soon as we issue that solicitation, they receive it through email. It will also allow us to start to do electronic bid submissions. So it will help us to have more responsive bidders. That's kind of an issue that we've been having, is that sometimes it's hard when it's a paper solicitation for the vendors to go through it and make sure that they've got all of those check boxes checked. When you have it in an electronic form, it will tell them you need to submit these things in order to have a complete bid submission. So it's going to help us to have more participation in our solicitations. It will help us to have a wider reach to our local vendors as well as a little bit further out. It will help us to more quickly get out information about any addendums. For instance, when the flooding emergency happened, we were going to have a bid opening that following Tuesday, and that just wasn't going to work with everything that was going on. So we had to very quickly get out an addendum to everybody who was on the plan holder list. And the process now is that we have to post it to the website, we have to send out an email to everybody, and that takes a little bit of time. With the OpenGov, all we have to do is generate the addendum in OpenGov, and it automatically blasts out to everybody.
Everybody, does that include the staff people of Gila County who have things in procurement?
Yes.
So that'll be compatible with our IT stuff, like with facilities, with our county shops, with everybody that has things into you for procurement, to go out to contract. So they will be able to get into your software and see that where things are at and who's bidding and how many bidders and things?
Yes, they will be able to see, they will actually, another thing is that the bidders can ask their questions through OpenGov. And if, for instance, if, landfill has a solicitation out, they can go into OpenGov and they can answer those questions directly instead of it having to go through an entire process. So yes, the department users will have access to the system. They will be able to see the status of their solicitations and their contracts. It's not just for formal solicitations, it's for all of our contracts. They will be able to see that. It will increase the transparency with the departments and with our outside users.
Okay, so our IT's not gonna have, our departments aren't gonna have to change their IT system to be compatible with this system that you're bringing in?
No, because this is all going to be in the cloud. So it's not, they don't have to have anything installed on their computer. There's nothing that they're going to have to learn that's going to be any different for them. It'll be like going to a website.
Okay.
To be in the cloud, that doesn't sound foggy at all. Supervisor Klein.
I was thinking maybe we'd start talking English here. So basically, I understand what you're saying there. I have a couple questions. First, in order to get our participants, we need to advertise this and get it out there that they have this ability. So is that gonna go through like Paul on the website and county website or something that?
We can absolutely do that, yes. And I think that would be a great idea to get more of our local vendors to sign up who maybe are not already participants in other OpenGov procurements. So OpenGov has many customers here in Arizona, including Mojave County. and the city of Tucson and things like that. So there may be some local vendors who already use OpenGov to see those solicitations. And if they are, then they can just say, well, we're also interested in seeing Gila County solicitations. And then they'll be signed up to see Gila County solicitations. But otherwise, yes, we would want to do some form of outreach to our local vendors to let them know that this is the new process to sign up as a vendor with Gila County. And then I would be happy to walk them through if they needed any assistance with how to sign up. But it's not a difficult thing for them to sign up as a vendor. It's very simple.
Okay, so, and I know you've been working very hard on a bunch of our agreements, contracts and stuff like that. So when we're gonna go to this system, what kind of timeline, how is that gonna shorten what we're doing now as far as time?
Okay, so
I'm gonna
right
put you on
now-
the spot here.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate this question because let me tell you what our process is right now. When I get a contract request, it comes through by email. There's a contract request form. If it's over 50,000, they also have to have an agenda request form. If it's for a formal solicitation, they have to have a request to advertise form. They may have to have 3 quotes. There's all sorts of documentation. And they have to gather all of that information and then send it to me by email. Then I go in and I look at it. I assign it a contract number manually. I have a spreadsheet for that, so I have to go and do that. And then I have to enter the contract information on my contract tracker, the spreadsheet that I just sent you guys a couple of days ago, that Excel spreadsheet with all the colors on it. So I enter it on there. And then I also have to create a paper file because we have hard copy files of everything as well. So I'm creating the paper file and printing everything out for that as well. Then we end up going through the process. I have to create the contract in a Microsoft Word document. I have to convert that to a PDF. I have to go into Adobe Sign and send it out to the vendor for them to sign. They get the Adobe Sign request, they sign off on it, and then we have to do an executive summary if it's under 50,000. If it's over 50,000, I have to submit the agenda item. Anyway, it's a lot of steps and a lot of manual things where I'm having to use Microsoft for this, Word for this, Excel for this. I have all of these different places that I have to go to track all of this information. Everything's going to be in OpenGov.
So what you're saying, it's gonna cut your time and the process down by a lot.
Yes, we're going to get rid of so many of these manual little processes, and these things that are in all these different places are going to be in one place.
So then by the time that contract's all said and done, it hits our desktop here, we approve it, it's a done deal, it's over with,
Yes.
we're good to go.
Yes.
No more processes after that.
No, and in fact, the department who requested it, we will have in there, here's the expiration date, and it will remind the department automatically, it will notify them that, 60, 90 days out, whatever we have set up for it, it will automatically remind them, hey, this contract is going to be coming up for renewal in 90 days. And so then they can, go in and say, okay, well, we want to go ahead and renew that. It will help us to be so much more proactive with contract renewals or extensions as well.
So there won't be more excuses of being late on a contract? Hear that, directors?
It will significantly reduce the number of excuses in being late.
Thank you both.
So we have 2 representatives from OpenGov here today. They've come a long way. I'm not going to let them just sit back there. You need to come on up. So I have heard bits and pieces of our procurement problem, and it's mainly delays. And it can delay a vehicle from being fixed for weeks or more. That is a vital piece of equipment that needs to be, it just doesn't even make sense to me that if something is needed, we can't just buy it and do it, but it's because of our policies.
That's right.
Our own policies are tripping us up. And so how long has OpenGov been in business? Do you know?
That's a fantastic question.
So we have Brandon
Yes, and I should introduce myself, say hello.
and Grace?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know, how long is your company, or you represent the company?
Yes, we do. In this introduction, my name is Brandon. I'm the regional manager at OpenGov. So I work with Grace. I have a team of 9 folks. We cover the entire state of Arizona and effectively Colorado West. So my team oversees 13 states. It's a pleasure to be in front of you all. And to answer your question, Chairman, Open Gov has been around since 2012.
Okay, and about how many, you mainly deal with governmental clients, and you have hundreds of clients, or your success rate, and, you know, so how would you rate your company? I know that's kind of a loaded, but you know, why should we choose you guys?
Absolutely. When it comes to our current partnerships, we partner with over 2,000 municipalities across the United States. And with procurement alone, we hold a 99% retention rate within our procurement solution. So I might be biased here, but I would say we would rate ourselves pretty high when it comes to our procurement and contract management solution.
So 99% of your clients stay with you?
Yes.
Is this the kind of thing, it looks like this is about a 4.5 year contract. Then do we renew this again with you, or is this, so this is a ongoing subscription
Correct.
sort of situation, okay?
That is right. So in 2029, right, the option to renew is there if the county decides to do a 1-year or multi-year renewal. That's obviously up to you.
And this dollar amount is for that entire time period. So that splits out to 50,000 a year.
It's on the board.
Well, I can't see it behind my head.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the first year has a higher cost for professional services and deployment.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
That's right.
Very good. Any questions for these?
Well, Mr. Chair, if I may, we have our IT person here. Do you have any comments or questions about this program process, compatibility with what we own? Like I said, this is not my field. I'm not the mechanic.
This is Carrie Bartling. She's head of IT.
If I may.
Hi, I have not vetted the software personally, so this is a software that they'll be using for their contracts for them. So if this is something that they're saying will work for them, this is, you know, something that they will do. Like I said, I have not vetted the software personally, so.
You don't see any incompatibility problems?
So as far as compatibility, there isn't going to be an issue because it's all in the cloud. I'm not sure if it's what the cloud works, if it's you have to be internal to use it or not, or if it's an external thing. But as far as compatibility on our systems, there should not be an issue as far as compatibility. So.
Okay, yeah, I guess my only question is, you know, the main bottleneck with the county is getting through procurement. It bottlenecks, well, all of our projects and the process of it. So I guess I would like to know in another 6 months what, after the installation of this, of what it's actually done for us in 6 months or a year. I would like to see this magic that it's supposed to perform.
I'm confident that you'll see results very quickly. There may still be bottlenecks at crucial times. We do have a lot of contracts that are on a fiscal year basis, and so we will probably receive another 87 or more contract requests in June and July of next year. However, we will be better equipped with OpenGov to manage those, to be more proactive. Maybe we'll actually, because we have all of these things in there, we can start working on them in May so that it isn't left to July and then into August and then into September. So I'm very confident that you will see some very positive results very quickly. And also in terms of the solicitations, I'm very excited about what this could mean for getting more of our vendors on board so that we get more bid submissions, there's better competition, and it's better quality submissions that are coming through so that we're not having to mark people as not responsive.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Gila County's been around for a long time. And the people that work with us have worked with us for a long time, and the people that haven't and want to, they've known we've been here, so I don't see how magically it's gonna bring in a whole lot of more vendors. You know, we're rural Arizona, and I don't see how a program is gonna get more people interested in dealing with Gila County, but that's just me. So, anyway, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any more, Supervisor Klein?
One for Olivia. What about those folks that may be out there that don't want to participate in this? Don't want to sign up for OpenGov? Is there going to be still a avenue for them to be able to put in a bid manually like we've been doing it, or how are you going to work that?
If they would rather submit a paper bid, we will still accept paper bids.
Okay. You know, I don't know that that's the case, but just by chance there may be, so.
Certainly, yes. There may be more people, people who are more comfortable in doing that, and we will certainly still accept a paper bid and do the opening that way if that's what they prefer.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you too for coming down.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. And Grace, you told me you were from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Correct.
And Brandon, where are you from again?
Also from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay.
But I am a Sun Devil, so I came here.
We appreciate you guys coming very much, really. So thanks for coming. Thanks for your input. The only last question. If we absolutely do not like this software, is there any, are we obligated to pay through 2029 on it? Is that a set in stone contract?
There is included in our master services agreement. There's termination for non-appropriation. So I'd also go back to that 1% of folks that
Right.
leave. What you'll actually find is the majority of those folks are organizations where, in very rare circumstances, they are forced to non-appropriate for the project. We just ask for a 30-day written notice ahead of the next term, and that's where things will lie. So in that effect, yes.
Okay. Right.
You said 30-day notice at the end of the next term?
Each term is prepaid in full at the beginning of the term. So for example, right, that first term there, that's inclusive of a prorated portion of software plus professional services, right? We come to July 1st of 2026 and say, before we get to July 1st, by June, you guys say, hey, we're no longer appropriating for this project. That's where it would lie, right? But we do each installment of software, right? That the term is paid in advance. Or paid for the next year.
Oh, okay, so like I say, if we don't like it in a year,
Yeah.
then you just need 30 days notice prior
That's right.
to that wanting to terminate within that year.
That's correct. If it were a case of terminating for non-appropriation, we would just ask for a 30-day written notice before that next term begins, and that's relevant.
Okay, so they're on yearly terms.
That's right. That's right.
Okay,
It's a July-June year.
That's correct.
Okay.
Fiscal year.
Okay.
That's right.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I mean, we really drilled down on you guys, and it's not that we're suspicious, but
Sure.
we just want to know what we're buying.
Certainly.
So appreciate that. So
Certainly.
if there's nothing else, then I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve the OpenGov Master Services Agreement with OpenGov Incorporated as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Unanimous. Thank you very much for coming. Have a safe trip
Thank you.
back.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
All right, next we got Josh Beck. We got 3C, information, discussion, and action to approve the IGA with Arizona Department of Health Services, whereby Gila County will provide funding for up to $33,000 per month, not to exceed $99,000 for the period of October 25, 2025 to January 30th, 2026, to continue providing eligible infants with the WIC infant food benefits during the federal shutdown. Josh.
Good morning, Chairman Christensen, supervisors. So the Women, Infants, and Children's Program, and just to put this out there too, in the consent items, you'll see our actual WIC contract for this year for $327,000. It's been appropriated by Congress, or by the President and the Congress, but we haven't actually received that money yet. So in the meantime, what we're trying to do is keep up with the federal shutdown. This item was a little bit more serious. We were originally going to run out of WIC funds like October 26th. The President's Cabinet are using, I'll get this, let me use the word, not tariff money, they went against tariff money, but they're using import taxes to pay for little pieces of WIC as it goes by. So What's happened so far is it's moved from October 26th to November 1st to November 10th to November 12th. Right now it's funded through November 15th. It looks like that might be the end of how long it's going to be funded. So in the grand scheme of things, what we did is all the counties that wanted to continue their WIC services worked with the Arizona Attorney General's office, Auditor General's office, and we created a contract to kind of go backwards to see what we could do to fund the state to keep the EWIC cards going. We looked at different scenarios of doing women, infant, and children, and which counties could do what across the board. For the most part, everyone chose that nobody wanted to let the infants go without formula. The price is about a third, and a third, so it would have cost us $33,000 a month to do just the infants, $66 for the infants and the children, $99 for all three. Maricopa County and most of the other large counties that are working with the state to do this program as well are just going to be doing infants. So I can say, like, when I originally brought this and we found out during a meeting, I think I was in with Supervisor Humphrey and Mr. Minlove, and we originally discussed this, we thought one thing was it made sense to stay in line with the rest of the counties, because now all of the advertising and everything that goes out for this, should that event happen on November 15th and we don't have funding, all the counties will be operating on the same infants only. So that's why we chose to go with infants only. Staffing wise, we were originally going to have to ask for staffing this month. The government did fund staffing all the way through the end of November at this point. So staffing's through November 30th. So for at least this month, if we get to where we actually need to use the IGA, then we would still be covered with staffing until November 30th. The last big piece of this, they wouldn't give it to us in writing, but if the contract goes the way that I've typically seen almost all of our public health contracts go, and I think all three of the board members have seen this before, where I bring a lot of contracts to you that IGA's in August, September, sometimes November, December for that fiscal year, and they'll cover that whole fiscal year. So if we do receive the CTR, the contract, the money that comes from appropriations for the contract that's on consent today, then that would backfill any dollars that we give to the state, as long as they say, as long as there's a way in process to return the money to us. So I didn't want to put that as a guarantee, but they're saying as long as we get the regular contracted money and that's let go of once the government opens back up, then there would be the potential for anything that we did have to pay to come back to us, because it's already part of the contract that we'll have. I think that is everything.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, that's one of those deals. Yeah, I just wonder how people raise their families before programs like this came up. But I guess you can't say no to children that are in need. So yeah, I don't have any comments other than that.
Thank you. Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Josh. I'm not much different than Supervisor Humphrey. I'm glad we're in a position that we can kind of, help out, especially for the infants. I agree. And so, and then hopefully if everything does get settled out later and there's a chance we get backfilled for this money, that's fine. But I'm glad you guys put this together. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm not real warm about funding a federal program that's not being funded. To me, this is welfare, plain and simple. It's not about the infants as much to me as it is about parents who have children should be paying for their own children. That may sound harsh, but that's the reality of it. We don't live in a poor nation, but everybody seems to be on the take for food, and everybody's whining, they're not gonna get their food stamps, they're not gonna get their free this and free that and all this. We become a nanny state. Not a lot of money. So the principle of it, I'm against, but I think I will probably vote for the provision of it in case. The government's going to be back operational by the end of the week. I'm almost sure of it. I think that today's November 4th, election day, and the whole thing's emotional. It's political. It's insane what they do. And I'm glad I'm not in that environment, but I'm really disgusted with the way some people operate in order to create leverage and other things politically. So I don't think we're going to have to spend this money, but we have to decide today whether we want to, if we need to. Okay? So if there's no other discussion, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Arizona Department of Health Services whereby Gila County will provide funding for up to $33,000 per month, not to exceed $99,000 for the period of October 25th, 2025 to January 30th, 2026.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. All right, item 3D. Information action discussion to approve a data access exchange agreement. It's ADOT file number 25-001104-8-I with the Arizona Department of Transportation for access to two of ADOT's databases for crash records and crash information exchange. And we have a newly appointed Lieutenant Cole Labonte with us today.
Yeah, and we actually changed this to captain soon after the lieutenant thing came about. So it'll look like I went through 2 promotions over the course of a month, which is be cool once everybody forgets that.
So next month, sheriff, or what is?
No. That's I don't know about that public, that elected official gig. That seems tough. Good morning, Chairman Christensen, supervisors, members of the board. Thanks for having me this morning. So this is a no money data exchange agreement between Gila County and ADOT. What it allows us to do is when the Sheriff's Office goes out and conducts a crash investigation, it goes on to a state form, same as every other agency in the state. And this allows us to transmit that information electronically to them. I believe this is the first time the board has actually seen this agreement, because when we first set up this program with ADOT, they allowed it to be signed by the sheriff. They changed some statutes in there, and the statute that was used requires the board to sign it. So no money, it just allows us to share some info for statistical purposes.
Thank you so much. Supervisor Humphrey.
No, I don't have a problem with this. I think it's good. You know, the crash records and things like that help us change roads and traffic lights and signs and things of that nature. So I have not an issue with it. Well, thank you for your presentation and for your promotions and all you've done for helping us.
Appreciate it.
Supervisor Klein.
Congratulations, Cole.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing this up. I don't have any questions.
I don't either, so I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve a data access exchange agreement, ADOT file number 25-001104-8-I with the Arizona Department of Transportation as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Item 3E, information discussion action to approve Justice Web Interface. Hosting agreement PRG-JHR0003 with Pragmatica LLC for the term of November 4th, 2025 through November 3rd, 2028 for a contract amount not to exceed $66,037 to approve the intergovernmental agreement number 03152025 with the City of Globe and the IGA number 03162025 with the Town of Miami for pass-through of Pragmatica LLC JWI annual subscription standard 100 to share to the cost of the subscription. Mr. Labonte.
Yes, again, thank you guys for letting me present this to you. So there's not necessarily an ask of the board for this money. The Sheriff's Office has some of the money involved. The other money is a flow through from Globe PD, Miami PD. I believe it's just those two. Tonopatchy was involved, but they are not involved at the moment. So What this allows us to do, DPS used to host a connection to the FBI and MVD. So when a deputy, an officer, anybody, including dispatch, is running a query for a driver's license check, a warrant check, registration on a vehicle, there's some other things that come through there. If there's injunctions prohibiting harassment between some people. So what this connection to those entities does is allows us to place the query, get the information. DPS used to host this connection. They have sunsetted their involvement in hosting the connection. However, statutorily, they're still required to track all the queries that are made. And we go through audits every couple of years with DPS for that. So this product, we went through a lot of different products to try to figure out who we wanted to use. This product gives us a lot of other little add-ons that will help with warrants coming from Justice Court, Superior Court into dispatch. It lowers the amount of redundant keystrokes through the courts entering warrant information, and then dispatchers having to just look at it on a piece of paper and re-enter it. There's an electronic conduit there that just is a checks and balances sort of thing. And it keeps us being able to conduct all the checks that everybody's used to doing. So the sheriff's office ponying up some of the money. We're asking Globe PD to give us a little bit of money, and then Miami PD a little less. It's based on the amount of officers. It's how we came up with what they're paying for. But the agreement has to be paid by us and done by us because we host the server and we host the connection. So.
Okay, thank you.
That's the program.
Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no question.
Supervisor Klein.
I'm good, Cole, thanks.
Yes, so my call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Justice Web Interface JWI hosting agreement PRGJHR0003 with Pramatica LLC, intergovernmental agreement number 03152025 with the City of Globe, and intergovernmental agreement number 03162025 with the Town of Miami as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Cole.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day. Be safe.
Thank you.
I like the name of that, Pragmatica.
I could tell.
It's like something off Battlestar Pragmatica. Prepare to be boarded. All right, the next one, Mr. Benny. Matt Benny, I saw him at the car wash this morning, Sarah, and he told me he would not be here today. Are you going to be presenting for him?
I am.
Okay, let me read it. Item 3F, information, discussion, action to ratify the Board of Supervisors' approval for the Sheriff's Office electronic submission of 3 FFY 2026 grant applications to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety for law enforcement projects. Number 1, $37,000, of which $29,802 is for personnel and $7,198 is for ERE expenses. Number 2, $207,073 to purchase 2 unmarked vehicles. Item number 3, $23,560 to purchase 2 Intoxilizer 9,000 units to be used for speed and DUI enforcement. Adopt resolution number 25-11-01 and authorize the chairman's signature on the certification form, all of which are components of the grant application. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. This item is our 2026 grant applications that we annually submit to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. As stated by the chairman, we submitted 3 grant applications this year for overtime, for speed enforcement for our officers, 2 unmarked vehicles, and 2 intoxilizer machines to be used for DUI enforcement. With that, I can take any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no question.
Okay, Supervisor Klein.
I'm good, thank you, Sarah.
Okay, with that, I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to ratify the Board of Supervisors' approval for the Sheriff's Office electronic submission of 3 fiscal year 26 grant applications to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety for law enforcement projects as presented. Adopt resolution number 25-11-01 and authorize the chairman's signature on the related certificate form.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Unanimous? Thank you. And we'll go to item 3G, information, discussion, action to accept on FFY 2026 Governor's Office of Highway Safety Grant Award contract number 2026 PTS 024, the amount of $48,780 for the period of October 1, 2025 to September 30, 2026. That will be used to support Sheriff's Office personnel services, overtime, and employee-related expenses and equipment for selective traffic enforcement program speed enforcement activities. Sarah.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. This is the follow-up to the acceptance of the grant we were awarded for the applications that we had submitted. So for FY 2026, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety has awarded the Gila County Sheriff's Office $48,780 to be used for overtime for deputies to do speed enforcement, and also one intox machine for $11,780. With that, I can take any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no question.
Okay, Supervisor Klein.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, and so with that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept an FFY 2026 Governor's Office of Highway Safety Grant Award contract number 2026-PTS-024 as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Our next item is 3H. It's information discussion action to award contract number CTR 066849-GC1, the Mill Ditch Road Project Professional Design Services to J.E. Fuller, Hydrology and Geomorphology Incorporated for the term of November 4th, 2024 through July 31, 2026, for a maximum compensation amount not to exceed $77,000. And we have Jeff Despain and Alex Kendrick with us.
Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors. Mill Ditch Road is a design project that it's a road in Pine that is being eroded by Pine Creek. It's down to about 8 feet in width. It's unpaved, and so we need somebody who understands the hydraulics of the creek so that they can design something to keep it from eroding and restore some of that roadway back so that we can have access.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey?
I have no questions.
Okay, Supervisor Klein?
The only questions I would have, Jeff, on something like this, is our county engineer not able to do this? I mean, this seems like a simple project.
This is about 100 feet of creek. Yes, we could design it. I'm going to be straightforward with you. I've done these before. We would need sub-consultants to do it's going to require probably some type of erosion protection that is going to be like maybe a wall, so we would need a structural and a soils sub-consultant to do that work. Right now, with Mr. Kendrick leaving, it would be me, and I have no other person to work with me to do that work. That's why I'm recommending J.E. Fuller.
Okay, I just heard about you the other day, so that's a discussion for later, Alex. So, okay, thanks, Jeff.
So I'm familiar with this. In fact, I think I brought it to Homero. It's been a few years.
Yes, sir.
Just to help everyone understand what we're talking about, this road was constructed many, many years ago, as were many in the Pine Strawberry area, to a substandard sort of situation. It's on a hillside that's very steep, and it's literally like a driveway that accesses about 4 homes, 3 or 4 homes. And then it dead ends, and it runs right up against Pine Creek, which is about 30 feet below the road, and it has taken away the bank to where it is almost scary to walk in there versus drive. The fire department will no longer go in there, emergency access, anything like that. They will not go in and try and defend any properties that need to be. They would just set up defensive perimeters to help the surrounding houses not burn down. So it affects property value, sellability, and eventually this road will completely collapse. Getting more of the mountainside removed in order to move the road over seemed quite problematic, since it's very steep and there's houses right above it. And so this is an expensive fix with a relatively small benefit to the public. However, I don't know how we can avoid not doing it. It's a road we're maintaining. It's not a private road. So we either do it or we give it up and let nature take it back. So that's really kind of what we're voting on today. It's going to be an expensive fix.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to require embankment something. I don't know. Like a lot.
A lot.
So, Mr. Chair, I'd have a question.
Yes.
Is this a county road or is this under primitive maintenance agreement?
So, under the plat, it belongs to the county, but it was never taken in as a primitive road. So it should have been maintained the entire time by the county, but it was not.
Gotcha. But it is a county road,
It is a county road,
not just under an agreement?
correct.
Okay.
It's what you would call a 2-tracker getting back in there. And it is as if someone did not plan for access to these houses. It was just done 40, 50 years ago, and now we're dealing with fixing it the way it should be. Okay, so if there's no other discussion, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to award contract number CTR 066849-GC1 to J.E. Fuller and Hydrology Incorporated as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And we got one more for you, Alex, right?
Yes.
3I, information, discussion, action to approve a good neighbor agreement number 26-GN-1103-1200-006 between Gila County, the United States Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, Southwest Region, Tonto National Forest for global emergency sediment storage resulting from the catastrophic flooding in Gila County, Arizona. Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board of Supervisors. This is a good neighbor agreement between us and Tonto National Forest. After the flooding occurred, they really came to bat for us, and they allowed us to use the defunct Kellner pit to store sediment debris. And will continue to allow us to do that as we get more of the debris pulled from each of the creeks and washes as we can clean up the post-fire. So this is the paperwork to get that agreement in place with the Forest Service.
Thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, when you say debris, is that dirt as well as trees and things that are taken out of the creek?
Excuse me, sediment debris, so just the dirt.
Just the dirt, okay.
The green waste and all the other Schedule A must be disposed of at a properly disposed of site.
Okay.
So that's a different.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but yeah.
Yes, sorry, I should have.
That's why I was just clarifying that, so all the dirt that we piled in a special place, we can unpile it.
Once it is clean, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Supervisor Klein.
Alex, are we gonna have to move this out of that pit later on, or how's that gonna work?
No, our agreement with the Forest Service, what they wanted to do is they wanted to restore that pit to native. So once all of the dirt material is there, we're going to reshape it and seed it so that it becomes as native as it can be.
Good, thank you.
Kind of all good and good.
Mr. Chair, I have another question. Also too, we have a lot of constituents who lived along the creek and things. With all of the creek washing, they lost a lot of their property. And so when I met everybody out at the dump, we were gonna test this dirt to be sure that it wasn't contaminated of some type.
Right.
And so, are we gonna use all this dirt at the Forest Service, or are we gonna be able to maybe give some people some of their yards back with
So-
some of this material?
So the goal is to do that, to use some of the clean dirt to restore yards. This is just the agreement with the Forest Service that we can use the Kellner pit to take the.
Okay,
the
so
dirt
yeah, if we
material
don't
there.
use it for,
Right.
for fill-in, then they'd be willing to take what we don't use for people
For
that
restoration.
may need some fill.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Alex, this is your last time here, and I understand you're moving on and moving up, and you're gonna do great. You've been a very valued employee, really a great employee for Gila County, good friend. We're going to miss you. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Where are you going, Alex?
TriStar Engineering.
TriStar. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are gonna miss you, though.
He did mention he might be working on the Lion Springs project.
Yeah,
and
don't
it's-
forget about us.
Yeah.
I won't forget about you, sir.
Oh. And I'm sure we'll see you around. You live in Payson, so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll see you around. Thank you, Alex, for that. And so with that, I will call for a motion.
I move to approve Good Neighbor Agreement number 26-GN-1103-1200-006 with the USDA Forest Service, Southwest Region, Tonto National Forest as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I will call for a motion to recess as the Gila County Board of Supervisors and convene as the Gila County Board of Equalization.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Item 3J, information, discussion, action to receive and accept the Gila County Board of Equalization hearing officers' decisions regarding appeal hearings that were held on October 15th, 2025